What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Jerry with Dipping Up Trading here, going to do a lunch hour stream here in a bit. I'm going to have Jay from Dipping Up Trading join me. We're going to do just a quick collaboration on this, just to talk about, where the market's at today, kind of what we are seeing on our end, both in terms of the technical analysis side and the option side. We are going to do some Ortex data checks, Fintel, Stonko Tracker, you name it. We're probably going to be doing it here live in person for you guys. If you guys haven't already, definitely feel free to drop a like on the video. It helps more people find this particular content and piece so that we can get more viewers in here and help spread and share information to the community specifically. Real quick, I'm going to jump over. Let's see. Let's jump over to Webull. So Webull, now guys, this is the desktop platform that I use specifically for trading and technical analysis and all that. So what I'm doing here is checking out currently right now is AMC. AMC on the day is trading at $48.50. Currently down 6.21%, down $3.21 on the day. It looks like we have Jay calling in. Let me see if I can get him on here.
Hello.
See. Let me switch this over. Discord. Jay, hold up real quick. Yeah, I can. I'm trying to switch the audio over to my headset, so give me 1 sec.
Gotcha.
All right. All right, say something.
What's up?
All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm live right now. I'm going to pull you up. Bring this guy up here. All right, so Jay, welcome. Guys should be able to hear your audio, and then whenever you get your video going, they'll be able to see you. It's going pretty good. Just started doing some technical analysis on kind of everything. I mean, it's been a pretty red day on the day so far. So
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do. Have you noticed that this is the first solid, I would say, multiple red days on all three major indexes? Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was looking, where's it at? Oh no, it's not on the recently viewed. Let me go to the watch list. Yeah, so like on the Dow,
247 right now.
yeah, and then let me find the NASDAQ. So there's the Dow. NASDAQ's down 25 points, down 0.17. And then where's the SPY?
The SPY is down $18.
Wow.
Yeah. NASDAQ was holding on to minimal gains. Like they were holding on to at around like $10
Mm-hmm.
in terms of a gain for the day, and now they've already shifted down to like $24, $25 already.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts.
With everything that's been going on right now, I don't anticipate these indexes to start creating all-time highs now, especially like if you look at the sequences from when, like let's say if you're charting the last time the Dow Jones Index saw a sell-off was like middle of June to July.
Mm.
Middle of June. That was the last time it saw like multiple red days, and then it had a nice rebound. But other than that, it hasn't seen this many red days since June.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty profound. I mean, when you think about it, and just in terms of where it was at. But I mean, you and I had kind of forecasted this to happen just because there's no way that it could sustain itself. You know what I mean? Like the levels were just getting too outrageous for it to be even realistic at that point.
100%. There was no way.
Let me see. Are you working on getting your video up or what?
What do you mean?
Like I can't even see you. Like through Streamlabs.
That's odd. Yeah, man. No, I mean, my video is fine. Everything's up for me right now. I don't even have Streamlabs up. So typically, if I have Streamlabs up, then it won't show me. I mean, I can try it.
Well, because last time we were able to do it where I could see you, like even on Discord. It's like I could see you on two screens.
Right. But remember, it was your, I think it was something with your Discord settings, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Here, let me check.
But S&P was another one that I've been watching real close. And when you look at the weekly 6-month chart,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first time in a while that you see a pretty significant divergence starting to form on the MACD. The last time was in April of this year. Actually, April 2020. That was the last time we saw that divergence starting to take place. Other than that, we hadn't seen. They've kind of been hovering close to each other for quite some time, and yeah, creating that all-time highs. It's been ridiculous. And then you look at the daily. Again, if we're looking at multiple red days, we hadn't really seen this many red days strung together. Usually they're split by like a couple green days or like 1 or 2 green days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen this many since again like July, which is pretty much what the Dow Jones was. We were looking at for the Dow Jones, but I think there's just more information out there that now I would imagine probably October, if I had to say anything, October would be the time that we're going to start seeing these things plummet. And I was talking about it yesterday on my stream, and there's just so many indicators that that basically. Let's see, is that working for you?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, cool. So let's try it. Y'all good?
Yeah,
Exit off of that.
yeah. Let me get you on full screen. There you go.
Just gotta X out of that setting right there. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
man. I think it's probably like again, like I said, there's so many indicators out there that are pretty much leading towards us, seeing something similar to 2008. We had the inflation CPI rates come out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of mixed. I feel like there's some people that are still trying to falsely. They're not trying to create a panic. Okay, so I saw an article that said, "Oh, inflation is not as bad as it was in June." And I'm like, were anticipating 5.4,
Yeah.
it was 5.3. And it's like consumer prices start to drop, blah blah blah, start to cool off. I was like, there's no cooling off on that. When you miss your estimation by 0.1%,
Yep.
there's no cooling off on that. Like that, and that's just how some of these media outlets can literally make you believe that there's nothing wrong. Oh, it's cooling off. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's still very hot right now. Very, very hot. And you remember, you and I were texting this morning, and I was telling you, you actually sent me that text about, who was it? Elizabeth Warren.
Oh yeah, with Wells Fargo.
Yeah, asking for the Fed to split up Wells Fargo. And it's because I have money in a business checking account, right? In a business checking account. I have two separate accounts. I have a business checking and I have a regular checking with Wells Fargo, as a matter of fact, right? They sent me an email about a week ago, and it all kind of makes sense. They were closing my business account. Isn't that random? And then all my funds were going to go to my regular checking account.
So they were just automatically going to move your funds without your consent?
Exactly, yeah. Is there nothing fishy about that? And this is why, like, I was just, in my mind, when I was just telling you, like, hey, I think we're, the U.S. economy is about to go to shit. And when you just start seeing everything with China, did you see what happened with China on Monday?
Mm-mm.
Well, actually, it might have been Friday.
Now what happened?
One of them, there was a company, Blackstone. They were attempting a $3 billion takeover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they plummeted 40%. They plummeted 40% because the takeover failed. And then as of this morning, from an article that I read as of this morning, that China, their largest property institution, has admitted there's a debt crisis, and there is riots going on outside the headquarters of that Chinese institution. And even that company has come out and publicly stated that even a fire sale of their assets would not cover their debt obligations.
Wow.
Now, China is one of the largest markets in the world. The U.S. does a lot of business with China. What do you think is about to happen, bro? What do you think? Now, I'm not trying to spread fear in people, but I just think it's better to be real about the information that is coming out than to sugarcoat it and have people just like kind of lollygagging around. Like, I feel like people probably should try to protect their money in some way, shape, or form, or at least be prepared. Put money away.
Mm-hmm.
Start putting money to the side. Be smarter with how you're spending your money. The jobs report was crappy. Okay, we missed the mark by I want to say by like 100,000. Missed the mark by 100,000, I believe, which is a lot. That's nothing small. I mean, dude, there's just so many indications that we are heading towards a crash in the market. Black swan event, 100%. You and I have talked about it plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to become, and I say this on my videos too, a lot of times when you're watching a stock or even, just a company for so long that you have conviction in or that you believe in and you're like, oh, this looks like it's, it could climb. A lot of times it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's also, in terms of the overall market as a whole, you have, it's been trending up for so long now. I mean, we're what, on a 4-year run, right?
4-year run in terms of what?
In terms of just, or no, excuse me, it's a 2-year run. It's basically been since COVID, right? Yeah. So, but at that point, I mean, everyone's just kind of sitting back and waiting, like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? To the point where when it happens, people are still going to be surprised, even if you're expecting it to happen, because it could have been something where it didn't necessarily meet your expectations or, whatever the case is. But You know, I think it 100% will end up becoming some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. So, you know, for anyone that has a lot of their investments tied up, you know, in the NASDAQ or the SPY or, you know, I would recommend starting to either take that money out and wait, or go with some, I hate to say it, but go with some meme stocks, because we all know and expect that when the market does crash, those stocks are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, but then I would also hedge against the market. So
True.
anything I'm kind of betting on the market crashing,
Mm-hmm.
getting some suitable stocks that will actually go inverse of what the market's doing. Obviously, meme stocks are pretty good, but there's also some very affordable, very cheap stocks that will allow you to get more shares at a cheaper price with a lot more upside in the event that the market does crash.
Right. Yeah, and
So go ahead.
no, so I was just saying. So you're saying, because what's the shorted or what's the shorted version of the Nasdaq?
So so I like to go based off of the QQQ, which
Okay.
is the Invesco QQQ trust. Okay, it's a daily trust, and
So at that point you would go to the SQQQ.
exactly the
Gotcha.
SQQQ. And if you put both of those charts side by side, and you look at the historical chart, you will see that as the market has crashed, like I would go as far back as 2008, because that's the last time we had a pretty significant crash that affected the entire world, okay? And I believe that's where we're headed, where it's going to affect not only the U.S. economy, but a catastrophic event that is going to affect the entire world economy.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the QQQ, if you look at the QQQ, go all the way back to 2008. If you literally do a direct overlay of both charts, you will see QQ went down, SQQ went up. Okay?
All right. So
SQQ got as high as 100,000.
all right. So this is as of
100,000.
so this is as of when COVID hit. Now it had dipped all the way down to 164. So let me pull it up over here. Let me zoom out.
Side by side, you'll see some significant.
I mean, dude, I can't even. I have to like scroll up to get to it. So March of so right around the same time frame, like when COVID hit. So on the left, this is the SQQQ. Over here is the normal trust, right? So when COVID hit, it spiked up to 162. Here it dipped to 164. So, and then they've just been running opposite from there. I mean, and you can see it. So, like, we have a downtrend here, and then we have the uptrend on the QQQ here. So, it's exactly like what you're saying. You know, they're just following the opposite directions.
Yeah, if you literally just if you flip the SQQQ chart, it will identically go with the QQQ.
Yeah.
With obviously different share prices, but it's identical. So for me, I do have shares in SQQQ. If you look at SQQQ now, if you look at the 6-month chart compared to daily, okay, again, it's similar to the S&P 500, where you see multiple red days. There are two, not one, but two hanging man candles right there near the top. The only time the hanging man candle will appear is once kind of indicating that that there's a reversal about to happen. Notice we're about to go into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight red days.
Mm-hmm.
And more than likely today's going to finish red. But out of the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of the last 10 days, we've seen 8 out of the last 10 days red.
Yeah.
And then there was an indication of it before that when you see the hanging man candle on September, what day is this? September, I believe that's at September 1st, or maybe actually August, the last day of August, August 31st.
Of this year.
Of this year, yeah.
Okay, let me go
If
back.
if you're looking at the QQQ, okay.
Okay.
But those are signs of reversals.
Let me see here. So you said last day of August. Yeah. So this is the area here that for the viewers watching, this is the area here that Jay's referring to. So right around this area is what he's referring to in terms of an indication of a reversal. Just simply because, I mean, you can see it here as it continues to trend, it immediately starts selling off. I mean, and this is over the span of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days. So that's almost 2 full trading weeks. So, I mean, and as of where it is right now, I mean, just based on what I'm seeing, I mean, I don't even really consider this a breakout of this trend. Let me go back to solo style. Let's see. Line style. All right, that's good. Sorry, all my indicators went away, so I got to put them back up. RSI. I don't even know why it does that. Like when I go to...
And then if you look at it, RSI is still pretty high as well. RSI is probably around 70 right now. And I've looked at the historical, literally even when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. What is this for? You're on the weekly, right?
I'm on the 6-month chart, but the daily chart, not the weekly.
All right, so yeah, because so Webull doesn't have that for me. It just has weekly.
All right. So go do the monthly chart and then do the daily chart on the monthly.
I don't even know if it can do that.
So go to the right, the far right, far right. One more over.
What do you mean one more over?
Click that one.
I have no idea what you're saying.
So there's one more to the right, but one more right there. Click that one.
I don't know, like this way?
That one should allow. Let me see. Hold on one second. It's weird because you and I use 2 different softwares. So, you use Webull. I've just started to familiarize myself with Webull. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. All right. So yeah. So it's going to show the monthly. So go all the way down. I would say do the quarter. Do the quarter chart, and then it should show the daily on the quarter. Yeah. So do the quarter chart. Okay. So you should see like where it says 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, day, week, month, and then you should see like another thing with a small arrow at the bottom, right?
Yeah. And I've selected quarter, so I have the quarter pulled up.
All right, and then when you're on the quarter, click on the daily. No. Keep it on the quarter, and then literally right back down there, go back to the daily chart and just click on the D.
Yeah, I know that.
See what I'm saying? Okay, so it looks like you might have it there. Let me pull up QQQ here on mine. All right, so are you on QQQ?
Oh, here you go. I think this is what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. There you go, buddy.
All right.
All right. So again, you and I are looking at the exact same thing. Okay, so go to the daily, click on that. All right. And when you see how we've been trending down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see those candles, those hanging man candles, one on the 31st and another one on the 8th. Those are indicative of a downtrend. Obviously, we look at the convergence of the MACD as well, and you see that that's finally converged already. So we're probably going to end up seeing more downside on that. It looks like we're seeing more selling volume as well. And RSI is sitting at around 55.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for the viewers watching, so this area here is what Jay's referring to. So the MACD, when the actual MACD indicator crosses below that signal line, that's basically indicative of a sell-off that's coming up. So it's just a way to read momentum. Same thing with the RSI. Anytime the RSI touches 70, we're entering overbought territory, and we usually expect some sort of sell-off to happen. It's a good way to day trade if you're looking to use that as a trading strategy, or you can even use it as a swing trade if you're trying to plan out, an entire trading week or two. So definitely good indicators to use when you guys are trading for sure.
But look at the entire chart, right? Tell me you don't notice that there's more green than there are red.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really see, yeah.
Yeah. The last time we saw some real significant selling was probably at the start of April 27th, and then it started its reversal on May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw multiple green days from March 2nd, 2021, reversed after the hammer candle on 305. We saw a reversal, and then after that, it's really all been green.
Yeah.
There's no way that this is going to sustain. And then now, from the 31st to today, has been the most that we've seen more red days than green. And this is on a macro chart. This is not a daily. This is not a weekly chart. This is a quarterly chart. So we're looking at. Are we already in Q4 now?
End of this month we'll end Q3.
This month will be in Q3. So we're going on Q4 now, with everything lining up. Obviously, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, talking about we may run out of money in the U.S., may default on its debt by October.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. And now we're starting to see some selling going on in all three indices. There's no way that's a coincidence. I do not believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Also, did you read the article about the Fed? He's a chairman of the Fed, and he sold off all of his securities that he owned.
What?
He said because of what was it? Oh my God. Because conflict of interest or something like that. I forget what it was. Just because of that. Did you not see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, so you tell me, why would just stop? So all you have to do is stop trading securities, right? There's no reason for you to sell them all off. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's something going on in the background. They're using all of this stuff to try to, in my opinion, they're trying to distract the people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think we're definitely looking at something. I think we're onto something here. Our text messages on a daily basis, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, like, and it's like what you said. Like, there's too many things that are lining up for someone to just walk in and look at all the data and be like, "Oh no, like, you guys are overreacting." It's just a coincidence. Like, there's just no way. It doesn't even. It's not even logical at that point anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. So it's.
I was gonna say something else, but
No, what's up?
no. You know me. I like saying a lot of that.
Yeah, we're not trying to get sued. Did you see Ethereum?
I have seen it. It's near $10. Remember, I told you I was gonna buy puts. The puts were too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough dry powder to put in on the puts, but I was gonna buy puts at 15. The $15 puts, which now it's what is it, sub 10 already?
I haven't even looked at it in a minute. No, it bounced. It's up to 12.
Yeah, but I still see a lot of downside right now because the MACD is top is basically just an indication that the bulls are losing steam, and pretty much, literally, like if we're just looking at, let's say the last month, I mean, it's finishing red over the course of time, if you're looking at the daily chart. So,
Yeah, I mean, volume on the day is 84 million.
yeah, and the last, the day of these run-ups, it was like
200 and something.
million. Yeah, it was like 100 million plus by like 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's now it very well could, have a fully, capable trend reversal here. I mean, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities, I would say. I mean, especially if it can break 1250. That looks like kind of that next level of resistance, because we've hit it, let's see, probably 5 or 6 times as support, or excuse me, as resistance. So, not to mention that 15 MA is starting to hook back up towards the VWAP and the 200 EMA.
So isn't it laughable how AMC is traded today, considering they've taken out more short shares and the short percentages up, which is weird, because think about it this way. It was last reported that the AMC short percentage was 20.31% of the free float.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, think about it this way. If back when when the shareholder count was announced, right, that 80% or a little over 80% of AMC was owned by retail investors, and I would imagine since that time it's probably grown to a lot more. How is it that we have let's call it, just to have even numbers, we own 80%, retail traders own 80% of AMC, but yet there's 20% short.
Yeah.
20% plus a little bit, 20.31%. How can you have more of the free float shorted? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you go over that? It should be 20 on the spot, if I'm not mistaken. Should it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's no partial percentages of counting shares. Yeah, and ownership.
Yeah, if you're going based off of 100%, there's no way that 100%, because then it should be 79 point, 69% that we should have
Mm-hmm.
owned, and not 80%. There's no way that's possible.
Right. Now, did you see, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I was looking at Fintel and AMC's institutional ownership. Guess who increased their position by almost 100% yesterday?
Bank of America.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was actually going to text you this. I was looking at their TNF filings the other day, and I noticed that they bought $66 million more into AMC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is basically major banks knowing what's about to happen. They know that they're about to be screwed in the event that the economy crashes. This is a potential mother of all excuses, which could go up, which people are saying astronomical numbers, right? Why would the banks not protect themselves with this one play, right?
Yeah.
Why would they not do that? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
It's all starting to make sense. There's no way institutions are going to continuously add and increase their positions if they don't think something's coming soon.
I mean, dude, just Vanguard's increasing in position at the end of last month is absurd. Like they probably bought in excess of close to 20 million shares total for all of their different index funds.
That is insane.
20 million in a day.
Yep.
Dude.
I mean, I'm just looking at these, at the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P, and they're still red on the day. VIX is starting to creep up to 19.51, an increase of 0.72%. We're starting to see more volatility in the markets.
Yeah, let me pull up.
Now, when the VIX is high, remember I told you, like when the VIX is really high, I honestly think like, what was weird was I was looking at the VIX when 2008 hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The VIX got as high as 80 in March of 2020.
Wow.
That was when people were selling off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at 2009, when everything hit, it got up to 90. Okay? So this random increase, which is not random, right? It's all following the pattern, okay? This random deal here is what, let's look at the monthly. Yeah, dude, like, it's, it looks like that MACD, you can still use MACD on the VIX too. The MACD is looking like it's about to start curling up, meaning that we're starting to see a trend reversal on even the VIX.
Right.
Meaning there's more participation starting to happen, and we may even see higher than 80. They got up as high as 85. 85.47 was the high during March of 2020. I would imagine we're going to see that go up to, I want to say 100, which is sad, but considering that you and I are both predicting a astronomical, like, catastrophic event in the market,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, it's only right. It only seems right. And I put this out on my stream the other day, yesterday. I'm not sure if you caught any of it, but get on YouTube and look up Dan Pena Black Swan.
Dan Pena.
Yeah, while you're doing that, give me 1 second, okay? I'll be right back.
All right. Black Swan. Oops. Guys, real quick, while we're waiting for Jay to come back, I'm going to run through the Ortex data. So we are, now this is for AMC. So on the day, AMC has a short interest change of negative, let's just call it 3.5%, 3.49%. 6.1 million shares returned versus 2.2 million borrowed for a net return of 3.91 million. Current short interest of the free float is currently at 19.25%. Utilization, again, just under 91%, so not really a significant change there. Cost to borrow did go up roughly 2.5%. Days to cover has gone up 4%. Shares on loan has gone down, but I don't necessarily think that those are shorts covering. I think it's more so the shares that were lent have just been returned. I don't think they were necessarily all shorted into the market. Now, some of them very well could have been, but I don't think they were all shorted into the market because it's not indicative in terms of the price action. So, because obviously, if they were covering, especially with as long as we were running up to that $51 mark, I mean, you would have started seeing more buying and nothing but green candles because they would have tried to cover their positions. And I did see, I think it was from Unusual Whales on Twitter. It said that, I think it was last or yesterday, maybe. Here, let me look it up. But anyway, he was talking about what hedge funds had lost. Let me go to Twitter. And then let me look up Unusual Whale. Here we go. Unusual Whales. All right. So Unusual Whales had tweet. Okay. I'm pulling up Unusual Whales tweet from earlier. So he tweeted this morning. Dang, he tweets a lot. Let's see. I want to say it was like It was like right at market open, I want to say. But he was saying that the estimated losses for the shorts was like 550 million with where the price was currently trading at.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it just so I can read it off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 4 hours. I don't even know what time it is. 1.
It is, yeah, about to be one.
Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't think he deleted it. I don't think I've ever seen him delete a tweet. But anyway, he was saying that it was roughly about 550 million that hedge funds had lost,
Wow.
which is substantial. I mean, that was just us running up to $51.
Right. Yeah, man. It's getting crazy out there right now. The one thing that people don't understand is that it costs nothing to hold.
Mm-hmm.
It costs hedge funds or these short sellers. Some of them are hedge funds, some of them are day traders, whatever it is. It costs them. They have to pay a percentage to borrow these shares, so they have to pay on their premiums on their borrowed shares. So no matter what, they're only getting money as time goes by. The longer they stay in these shorted plays, and as you and I have come across, there's many out there that are heavily shorted,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. It is insane.
Dude, did you see earlier with Gensler? Did you see he was testifying?
I did see, yeah, and
He said they're close to publishing.
yeah, there's like, the report on GameStop is past due, or at least there's one more week in summer. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, we're close to publishing it, blah, blah, blah. And then there was another report that was supposed to be out, and he was like, well, that one's past due, so hopefully, you can get that done for us too. But, and then I believe what they were talking about as well, I caught the part where they were mainly speaking about crypto and how can they choose or decide to go after a company if crypto is not considered a security. And he was like, well, we kind of, there are some cryptos that we do consider securities and blah blah blah. And I was just like, and this all kind of goes back. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Coinbase CEO. Apparently he tweeted out like a bunch of stuff as well about how they went to the SEC and asked if this would be okay about lending or something like that, and then the SEC was like, if you do this, we are going to, bring action upon you.
Right.
This. And so the SEC, like the CEO of Coinbase, basically just like went off on a tangent on this long Twitter rant, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that they're not, in my opinion, there's so many people that are kind of intertwined with each other. Some of the SEC has a lot of ex hedge fund people on their committee, and I just think it's more of like hey, we're friends kind of deal, can you help me out, turn the other cheek type of deal, and
Mm-hmm.
give you a little bit of money on the side.
Yeah, we'll get you a cut of the deal if you can throw us a bone. Yeah. Yeah, man, so like it was so funny. So I had my I don't know if you had checked my channel at all. I had my first troll today. Yeah. So he was basically saying that he was like, I can't believe you're pumping OCGN. It's a pump and dump. You're going to lose people, so much money by saying that they need to buy it. And I responded to him. I was like, dude, I never even said that people need to buy it. I said that I'm going to look at potentially swing trading it, because if they have potential World Health Organization approval at the end of the month, yeah, I'm going to look at buying it. Because as soon as that approval drops, that thing's going to rocket. So why wouldn't I look at it? And it's heavily shorted. So if something like that happens and then the shorts are forced to cover because so many people are buying from the news, yeah, dude, it's going to squeeze. Like, why wouldn't it? You know what I mean? And then he came back and he was like, oh, well, I'm just trying to help out, people. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. See you never. and the guy had like 200 followers. I'm like, really, man? Like, you're not even really relevant in the YouTube community, and you feel like you have the gall to just come and bash me for no reason.
I think at least having 1,000 plus subscribers should warrant some type of deal, because at least you have a following and at least your channel's monetized.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making a lot of money, but at least you can kind of put ad revenue on there. At least, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I agree. Hey, what's your thought on oil?
Man, it's tough, especially with what happened when Biden took office and how he canceled the pipeline. I'm kind of skeptical on it now, and the reason I say that is because he is so adamant about the EV sector that I think it could even come to the point where there could be some sort of decree, and I don't even know if this is legal or not. I'm just kind of throwing out a scenario where he could issue, hey, the entire country is required to have this % of electric vehicles and or green or low emission fossil fuels or whatever. And if the oil industry can't compete with that, then they're going to start shutting down refineries. And then you'll slowly see a deterioration of unleaded gas. You know what I mean? I think that's the way it's going to go. It's not what I want to happen, but I don't really have control. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of a scenario that I could foresee happening.
And let's see, there was another one that I was thinking. So I'm looking at VIX futures. VIX futures are actually up right now. They're up to 26, 27. I was trading some VIX futures saying that they were going to go to 30. They went to 30. And then right after that, going above 30, I think they reached a high of like 30.90, maybe something like that. Didn't quite hit the $31 or like 31 mark.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they're starting to trend back up. So VIX futures are the VXX.
Gotcha.
You can trade those. You can trade the VIX futures.
Now, can you only trade it on certain platforms, though?
Yeah, I mean, you have to realize Webull is a relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
It's a relatively new brokerage that has opened up to allow for retail trading. If you're on some of these more kind of, I guess, I don't know the word I'm trying to use, but if you're looking at these more established brokerages, like I use E-Trade, and that's usually what I'll use to trade my options with, and then I have Swap, which I trade, stock with, and a lot of times, like, those two institutions are going to offer way more, I guess, way more products to offer
Mm-hmm.
trade, than some of these newer ones would.
Yeah, for sure. I had this guy tweet me about Ethereum because I posted my video link that I did last night, and he goes, "That didn't age well." And my response was this. I was like, "Go check the short interest and holler back." Because have you seen the short interest?
Have I? No, I haven't seen the short interest on Ethereum.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Like, so granted, it doesn't have a whole lot of volume and circulation, for the free float, but so roughly a quarter of the current short interest of the free float, dude, is 55%.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's double what AMC is.
Oh, 100%. But we also are floats out there as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, but even still,
definitely has a larger float than Ethereum.
cost to borrow.
Sure, definitely has. I mean, what cost of borrow has to be at least 400% on Ethereum, right?
Yeah. So the minimum is 54%. The max is 300%. The cost to borrow average is 204%, which is ridiculous. Now, the cost to borrow over the last 7 days. So the top part of the of Vortex, for anyone that has it, works, I believe, on a T plus, was it T plus 5 or T plus 7? But it's up 240% from 7 days ago. It went from 21.9% cost to borrow to 74.5 over a 7 day span. And then, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, cool, it's selling off, but I don't think it's dead or done by any means. Just because of,
I don't. I think it's cooling off, and then right now it's probably been an increase in short.
right, or it could be volume exhaustion.
Yeah, that or you're seeing people just take profits. You know, that's why I'm glad. You know, I told you, I was like, yeah, I'm taking profits now. Like I'm not even gonna mess with it. Like, I think the one thing traders and if you look at the, let me see. Where am I turning this here? I
Dang.
mean, if you look at it right now, I think it just went up too fast,
Mm-hmm.
too soon. So, went up too fast, too soon. Had it been like a gradual, like, alright, so if you look at the 8th, 9th, and 10th, those were gradual run-ups, right?
Yep.
So it followed that nice little trend line. And then you had this massive gap up on the 13th, right, which is Monday. Massive gap up in the pre-market, and then when the market opened, it failed to close that gap, failed to close that window, and it just shot straight up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I think just because this day that it had yesterday was the reason for all the selling pressure coming in right now, right? I don't think it's completely out of the woods either. I think we're going to see some more selling, at least by the end of the day. I think we might see it, you know, definitely head back down towards that $10 range, and if not, go a little lower than the $10 range.
Yeah, or even if not today, it could carry over into tomorrow's trading day, or even thereafter. Yeah, because like on the hourly, well, but here's what's interesting. So on the hourly, the RSI is at 36,
Right.
and the daily. Now this would make sense as to it being, considered volume exhaustion, because on the daily, the RSI had touched 83, and then that's when we had the sell off. So right now, the daily RSI is at 60, or basically it's 60. But if you look at on the week and on the month, it's in the 40s, which is why I don't think it's done for the next few weeks or even the next couple of months. I think there's still more coming, you know what I mean, in terms of buying.
Yeah, 100%. This is definitely a longer term swing trade, but it does have more potential. But that's why you got to buy these dips. If not, get really, get some calls that don't expire for a while, maybe March, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, or you could even do something like what I did is I bought in like right around $10, and then I let it ride, and then I set a stop loss once it hit 19. I set a stop loss at $17, just to limit, any potential future losses that I could have, but also still be able to take some off the table, which is what I did. And now I'm just waiting for it to fully bottom out, and then I'm going to buy back in and ride it again. So, and just rinse and repeat.
And right here on the daily hourly chart, if you look at the MACD is still in a bearish, trend right now. So even though right now we're seeing this little bounce, it's not going to last very long. The only way this is going to last is if we start seeing this MACD start to curl. But with how much the MACD has diverged, I still see it to be a bearish indication that we're going to see a little bit more downside. So we're not necessarily seeing the real bottom right now on this reversal to $12. Like, I think this is just people trying to buy the dip, thinking that it's oversold. But if you're looking at the macro chart, like I think the macro will tell you more of where the stock is headed than the micro. You can use the micro to day trade, but in terms of an overall aspect, I think looking at the, zooming out, like we say, when in doubt, zoom out, to get a better picture of what this stock is doing, will, give you a better way of trading, and then also will allow you to make better entry points.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like right now, I mean, granted, we are expecting there to be a little bit more on the table for this to dip, but I mean, right now on the 5-minute, it's respecting that ascending level of support. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it even looks like on the 30-minute, or I know you can see it here on the 5-minute. I mean, you can see a little bit of a pennant formation coming in. So it might be working its way towards a breakout of that 1250 mark. I mean, because right now the MACD is already crossed that signal line, so it's converged on the 5-minute on the micro perspective. So it could have a little bit of a run before it sells off, unless it just tests and rejects. That's also a possibility.
I think it's the latter. I definitely think it'll test and reject at a certain level. I'd probably say it's going to reject near the $13 level, and then we'll start to see that curl back over on the MACD, and then that'll obviously indicate the reversal.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's my opinion. Obviously, I'm not an experienced 10-year trader, but yeah, I mean, I just 100% think that that's where it's headed, just based off of what I see here.
So BBIG was one I was looking at to potentially day trade at some point this week. So right now, let's see. So right now it looks like it's forming a little bit of a bull flag. Yeah.
$8, man, this thing is sitting hot too. When you look at it, well, if you're just looking at the daily, it's still pretty high off of its, it's still sitting pretty good off of its highs. It's still kind of holding a little bit of strength off of those runs that it had recently. I got into BBIG and I sold, I think when it got up to $10 or $11.
Mm-hmm.
I took small profits again with these plays right now, just because there's so much volatility on them, and there's just so much uncertainty with them. I think you run the risk of them being pumps, pump and dumps, and that's why I just always choose to keep my risk very low on some of these plays that I don't have very high convictions on.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and that's that goes hand in hand. For me, I didn't necessarily, for Ethereum, for example, I didn't necessarily want to set a stop loss because that was the greed in me that wanted to continue to stay in it. But then I had to be realistic and say, okay, I need to be smart about this because I'd rather take the gains and then reinvest it on a dip and just expand my position, and then ride the wave up again. And like I said earlier, rinse and repeat. Because when you do that, that's when you're starting to really multiply your profits. You know what I mean? Especially if you're starting to get really good on the technical side of things. I mean, it's like it's almost like you're stealing money. Like that's how easy it could get.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Look at ticker symbol JPM.
JPM. Was it JP Morgan?
It is. Take a look at it. What you think?
All right. So, man, it's way oversold, but we got an ascending level of support. So it's been following that. It did have, now this could be, with where the RSI is at, this could be a fake out breakdown right here. It could be a bear trap.
You think it could be, or do you think that is it me, or does this kind of look similar to?
I mean, you kind of have a funky cup and handle gun.
Yeah, funky.
Let me go further
Look
back.
at the daily. Look at where it's gone today.
The daily.
That's just today. It's way oversold today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just way oversold today. If you're just looking at today, right? And we're looking at the 5-minute chart on the 1 day. Did you know that Chase issued an email? Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay, so I actually posted this to my Snapchat, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you. But apparently somebody who works with Chase posted this, and I found it on Reddit. But basically, it's a statement issued to I'm assuming like real estate agents that are kind of overseeing their properties.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, we are requesting that all agents complete partner registration training by Tuesday. We are experiencing an unusually high volume of 90-day defaults, and we are expecting a significant release of properties.
Wow.
Okay. Distribution of listing assignments will be coordinated between assigning firms and approved agents and will begin immediately. Application instructions will be provided tomorrow via online webinars, blah, blah, blah. This week, agents will receive instructions for submitting documentation to Chase Bank and Chase authorized asset management providers who will be assigning properties to vendor partners. What does that tell you?
I mean, if they're selling off their positions, I mean, to me that indicates something's coming. That they're trying to keep under wraps.
And do you think that is a coincidence that their stock has dropped $4 on the day? Well, hell no. Actually, it's at 156.72. It was at 160 and change.
Yeah, so it's down 2%.
It was at 161 and change. 161.19 was the high.
Yeah.
So we're down almost $5 in 1 day. After a day where it actually finished green. I mean, it seems to be like a trending kind of deal where it skyrockets. It's almost like a heavily manipulated freaking stock on a daily. Because you see these large run-ups. If you look at 9.9 and then you look at 9.10, it was like a large run-up up to 160, then it gets closer to 160, and then it sells off, and then you see another run-up, and you see another run-up, and another sell-off. But I think there was news today, and I actually want to try to see if I can pull that up. Let's see. Chase and go.
Oh, dude, is root bottomed out? Nope.
That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on root to bottom out because I do have positions in them, and I'm just waiting on that to happen.
I might set a buy order at 572. And then probably do another one at 526, 525. Because it bottomed at 519. Hey, while you're looking that up, I'm going to go grab a drink, so I'll be right back. I'm back.
in that aspect. Okay. Yeah. Well, what I was saying is, I'm looking at some of the news, and it says that Chase is acquiring the Infatuation, which is a restaurant platform.
Mm-hmm.
But and what I was saying is that Chase has really been trying to compete with American Express in that aspect. I want to say last year, American Express actually bought a restaurant platform called Resi, and it was basically like a reservations type platform where it allows you to make reservations, but only at high-end restaurants that you normally would either have to call or whatever. But it would basically be for like high-end restaurants where you can just make your reservations, almost like what is it? Open Table, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Open Table, you can do pretty much any regular old restaurant. Now with Resi, there's restaurants here that are fine dining. Like some of them are. I think here in Houston, we might have like at least one or two Michelin star restaurants, I believe. And yeah, it's not very good, but there are some really good restaurants out there. And I think this is what Chase has been trying to do. They're trying to compete directly with American Express.
Well, see, it's interesting too how these banks are starting to branch out to like different avenues to do things like that. It's almost like, okay, so are you doing this because you're fraudulently selling positions, and this is where you're allocating that money now to these different avenues to try to hide it? You know what I mean? It's almost like they're trying to cover their tracks, because it's like, why in the world would Chase want to do that? Like it. I mean, just like how Chase was, or I think they still aren't they like the preferred credit card company for Amazon? Like, isn't that who Amazon goes through when they issue their cards, like their credit cards?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, it is Chase. The Amazon credit card, yeah, it is Chase. Mainly because Chase deals with, obviously, American Express is American Express. And then Chase uses Visa. But I think some of their cards now are MasterCards as well.
Dude, VIX is climbing.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. SQQQ shares are up, while the QQQ is down. There you go, buddy. So far on my purchase of those SQQ shares, I'm up. I'm up like 25 cents per share.
Nice.
I'll take that all day. Any gain is better than no gain. Sure, and it's definitely better than a loss.
Dude, I might buy in, because this is about to converge on the hourly. For SQQQ.
Yeah.
Because I need a quick day trade.
And I would assume that we're gonna see. Yeah, dude. Let me see. It finishes greens today. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight red days. 5 straight green days.
Wow.
You notice how that coincides with the QQQ, where we're seeing 5 straight red days.
Yeah. All right, so I'm in real quick just for small position. I just bought 50 shares, but and if
Will you tell Jason his voice is really quiet? I was trying to watch y'all's live video. It sounds like he's like 100 feet away.
Hold up.
Oh, is that me? My bad.
Yeah.
So let me bring it. Does it sound better?
Can you go see if it sounds better?
Yeah, hold on a second.
She's so helpful. Yeah, she beats you No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man. Honestly, I probably wouldn't day trade this. I would hold, just because the way everything's looking right now, it's looking pretty bearish on the index side. You know, this would be a solid hedge, and then again, like I said, I mean, the SQQQ, basically, I mean, people want a stock to hit 100K. This one definitely has potential to, in the event that the market crashes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, even if you had 100 shares, that's $10 million. And you're sitting pretty.
Right.
You know, and they cost you $700 for 100 shares. Oh my God! Another high here. Is this another high? No, we got a high. I think we probably have a good solid resistance level here at the 60 range. What do you think?
Sorry, where are you looking? I was messing with the microphone.
Oh, I was saying that I feel like we have a solid resistance range right around here, this 760 area, just given the last two trading days.
Yeah, 764, give or take.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I meant. Yeah, I didn't see that it went that high.
So right around here, let me go ahead and mark it. And then from there, I would say 780, maybe even a little higher. 780 would be the next.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why your volume's low, because I have you turned all the way up.
Maybe it's my microphone. Let me see if I can turn up the volume. Maybe that. Was that going to be it?
For
Could be that. I usually have my settings like very
minimal.
chill. Yeah, very minimal, just because this microphone will pick up a lot of background noise.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if my daughter's playing around and, you know, she's jumping around, it'll pick all that up, and then it'll kind of sound like, you know, our background noise. But
Oh, dude, mine, I have to plug in, because it's Bluetooth. I plug in this USB into the CPU, but I take it out every now and again, because like I'll switch out headsets for like gaming and stuff. And so I always set it on my desk. And then before we got on the stream, I couldn't find it. And so I was like, what the heck? And so I went and asked my wife, I was like, you know, did our daughter take it? And she's like, well, I don't know. I put it on top of the computer, and it was like underneath, like the small little crevice of the CPU. And I was like, there's only one person that has fingers small enough to fit it in there, and it's her. So
that's so funny.
let me see.
Yeah, dude, I mean, the MACD on the 5 minutes looking good. Looks like we're still looking at bullish territory on the SPQQ. And then, like you said, on the hourly, it's just now starting to converge, so.
I know. I think we might break this.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And then the QQQ is just down.
I mean, because we have that convergence on the hourly, plus the RSI still has room to run for the next hour.
100%. Wow. Yeah, this thing is still going to go down. That's sad. Oh well.
Dude, AMC is killing me.
Why?
Just how it, because you know, like when you're up so many shares, you know, you're starting to have, with as high as the price is, you know, you're getting several $1,000 swings. So it's just like, oh, cool. You know, I made $11,000 yesterday, but now I'm down. I've lost, you know, 40% of that, you know, so it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. It kind of comes with the territory at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, especially when I have my options, dude. I have my options, and my options will literally show, today's gains, 1,500, and I'm just like, nice. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, today's gains, -130. I'm like, you bastards.
Oh, dude, did you see, where is it? What was the one that I was telling you about to watch for? Is it CLTR? I think is what it was. I think it ran today. Nope, that's not it. I just looked at it a second ago. There you go. Oh.
So the way this is going for QQQ, it's set to have another red day.
Sorry, RCMT was what it was.
Yesterday it closed at 376. Right now it's at 374. Actually closed, 376, and it's at 374 right now. So it's $2 down on the day. And again, these are signs of trends starting to reverse. Remember when you and I were talking, I can't remember what we were talking about, but I was just like, dude, we're in trouble. And you were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I think I texted you yesterday. It was just random, wasn't it? But I thought,
In terms of what?
in terms of how I feel about the entire market as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
With the market being red right now, it kind of makes sense that AMC is down to 47.77. But this is short. This is not normal price action, I would say.
No, it's not.
The volume is so low, especially when the VIX is so high, makes 0 sense.
Well, and also too, I mean, so for any of the viewers out there of, questioning how we can tell, I mean, so natural price action looks like, here, let me go to the 5. So this is usually natural price action, right? Right here, this little wave here.
Scoot it over.
So this right here is natural price action, right? It's not really predictable, but when you go to the 1 minute, and let me zoom out. Actually, let's stay on the 30. So here's AMC today. Let me go 5. All right, so, and then let's zoom in again on the 1. So look, you see how it's just stair stepping. Boom, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Just the whole way down. And you can tell it's usually 3 or 4 green candles followed by 5 or 6 red candles. And then here looks like they were like, oh, hey, we're going to let it run a little bit and then we're going to short it some more. It's just, it's too predictable to be able to tell when something's being shorted and when it's not. Because it's just not, it didn't look right. It's like, oh, wow, you can actually tell these people are predicting when it's going to go up and then they're just going to sell it again. Now,
It's crazy right now.
yeah, I mean, now don't get me wrong. We're trending into drastically oversold territory on the minute.
You want to know what? So I'm not sure if you know, but Friday is Quadruple Witching Day.
Oh, that's right. Was it second or third Friday of every quarter, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Or in the third month, I should say.
Yeah. So Friday is Quadruple Witching Day. What do you think happens? All these options start expiring the money. Do you think it's in their best interest to keep this thing below 50 and not have to worry about 188,000 options expiring in the money when it's over 50 or 51?
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
just
That's 1.8 million shares that they would have to hedge for if they haven't already. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So right now, according to here, let me refresh this just to be sure. I'm pretty sure it's right because Stonko Tracker updates real time. So right now it's 137,451 expiring in the money as of where the price is trading at now. if we finish on Friday at $50, it's going to add 35,000 shares to that. Or, excuse me, 35,000 calls to that. So that would basically give us roughly 6 or 17.2 million. And then finishing at 51, I mean, I don't even know what the open interest is at 51. Do you know?
Open interest is at 51. I can look. Let me see. Actually,
750,000 shares available to borrow right now, which makes sense because of how many were returned.
and right now we're looking at short sale volume of our total volume, 59 million. 48% of that is short.
Oh,
So
and where are you seeing that?
I'm seeing that on daily short sale volume. What's the website that I like to use? It is shortvolumes.com.
Okay. And in France, we closed at $48 though, almost $49. So I'd be curious to see if we bounce.
Okay, so check this out. This is very weird. You know how there's unusual options activity?
Yep.
Unusual options activity is actually happening.
For AMC right now.
And this is all for this week. Expiration. 27,000 contracts traded today at the 50 strike with only 25,000 open interest. Anytime something that large comes through, that's unusual to me. Now, what would make it even more unusual is if it was maybe 2 or 3 times, okay? But then check this out. We're looking at the 49, no, not the 49, the 51 strike, 14,000 in volume with only 5,000. That's very unusual. We're looking at the 52 strike, 14,000 with only 7,000, nearly 8,000 in open interest. And then we go all the way down to the $55 strike price, 43,000 traded today with 27,000 open interest. That is unusual. Why would someone go 43,000 in on the 55 strike when expiration is literally 3 days away?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a Hail Mary. It's like, yeah, let's throw 50 grand in and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like,
Right now, those are going for, what is this premium? Been asked is $60, $60 to $62 range
for one contract.
for one contract at the 55 strike.
Dude, I can't imagine watching that money just go down the drain, watching Theta just rip it apart. I mean, because 3 days away, I mean, that Theta is going to be so high.
Well, right now, let's see, Theta is at 29.
So it's what is it, it's 29 cents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 cents. So it's $29 that you're going to be losing each day, pretty much. But your delta, I mean, I think these were more based on delta plays. Because look at this, delta's almost 1 on the 52. No, my bad. I'm way off on that. Way off on that. No, these are definitely not delta plays. I mean, deltas are decent, but not enough. You know, 38, 33, 28, 24, 21, 18. 18 delta is not enough to maybe put in a couple, 100,000.
Right.
Now, we had a delta 1, then, which you're looking at the $39 strike price close to a delta of 1. That expired this week. Those are in the money. So, I mean, dude, it's so hard to kind of call these options just because it's so manipulated. But if I were going to go in on some options, I'm going Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Let's see what some of these
Like, what's a $50 strike going for?
$50 strike on
Yeah.
this week $50 strike is going for 140. Yeah. 150 with a delta of 38.
VIX is over 20.
GEVO 6. Yep, this is at 20.8. Up. Wow. 3.6% up. And the rest of the market is still red. Yeah, man.
How much sense does that make?
That just tells you people are starting to sell. I think that people are starting to get a feel for how everything is coming out, and they are starting to sell off either I think that is probably directly correlated with the fact that the indexes are starting to sell off. People either trying to lock in gains or what, but yeah, I'm gonna catch all three of these on the dips. All three of these. I mean, I think S&P will probably go down to 2,000. Well, at least the S&P index will go down to 2,000. S&P 500 may go to 200, 100.
Mm-hmm.
I'll catch that on the way down. If it goes as low as 80 or 70, I'll catch that and ride it up.
Are you gonna buy leaps or no?
On
For the puts?
what do you mean?
Like you're gonna buy them with far out expirations?
For the S&P?
Yeah.
I have puts on January.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not, I mean, it's coming up, so but the thing is that the risk is so small that it really doesn't even matter. Like, I think some of my puts were like, at the time that I bought them, were $25. And for me, if I have $125 in on a bet that is saying that the economy is about to crash, and all indications, I'm early, but I'm not wrong.
Right.
This is almost like that Michael Burry kind of moment on The Big Short, where he's like, I may have been early, I may be 2 years early, but I'm not wrong. He's like, this is a certainty. Look what's starting to happen. You're seeing banks, you're seeing other countries starting to go crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a ticking time bomb that we're sitting on. So, did you happen to see that video with Dan Pena? Did you happen to take a look at it by any chance?
So I pulled it up and then we jumped into a different topic, but I'll pull it back up.
Yeah, I would strongly encourage you to go ahead and pull that up and have it showing. To be honest, I'll pull that up on your chart, and it would be the first one, I believe. It'd be the top of it'd be the top video, Black Swan. Literally says Black Swan on it, and this is somebody who I've followed for a couple of years now. I've known about Dan Pena for quite some time, probably since 2017, and he's a straight shooter. Like, he gives no BS, and I do believe, like, there's no way that he's going to put his reputation on the line and come out and say publicly that he believes there's a black swan event coming. He says he doesn't know what's going to happen, blah, 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 but he also gives a lot of the same references that you and I have been talking about, things that I've brought up, things that you found and brought up, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes sense. Think about it. So, Dan Pena was a guy who was on the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, right? He was one of the founders of Certified Financial Advisors Institution or something like that. He was one of the founders of it. Okay, he wasn't on the board, but he was one of the founders of that institution that allows people to say, hey, I'm a financial advisor.
Right.
So he's a billionaire. He is a billionaire. So I would say it is a billionaire's job to know what's going to happen with their money.
Right.
They have to protect their money. Otherwise, obviously, their estate loses value. So that's the last thing they want to do, regardless if they have children or not.
All right, let me go. Sorry, I'm minimizing this so I can get it to fit on the screen.
You're good, bro.
All right, so let's do it this way. All right.
A little more to the left. There you go. That's better.
Cool. All right, now let me get you up.
Unmute it.
There we go. All right. I believe so.
I can't hear it.
All right, here. Here, let me. Do I need to take it off my headset for it to work?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't have to, but you can if you want to try it.
Oh no, I don't want any feedback.
Just go ahead and mute your mic.
Yeah, that's what I was. Here, I'm gonna mute it and then tell me if you can hear it.
Go to your software and do your desktop audio. You should be good.
Wait, you mean like go through? Should I go through Streamlabs or should I go through?
Yes. It's always on Streamlabs.
All right, so settings, audio, desktop audio.
If it's muted, unmute it.
Okay. Let's see if that does it.
That's going to happen. And everybody in this room almost is going to get wiped out.
See?
Did that work?
I agree. Yeah, it worked. I could hear it.
And the Black Swan.
And you can go ahead and you should be able to keep your headphones plugged in as well.
Yeah, I am.
Warren Buffett's industry, which I don't necessarily follow. The last time that it was this high was the crash in 2000.
These auctions just got so dirt. cheap. Oh my god.
My background is I used to be a Dow
I'm
trader.
thinking about it.
I used to be a gold buff. I was one of the first individuals on the Chicago Board of Option Exchange. I used to trade commodities. There's not one facet of the financial services that I have not been a part of in some ways. I was
Turn up your mic a little bit.
founded, although I wasn't on the board, certified financial planners. I've got a lot of experience.
Is that better?
And when I tell you
Yeah, a little bit.
it's coming,
I think there's something wrong with your feed, though.
And you're not prepared.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At an all-time high.
It's,
Borrow, buy stock.
yeah, I don't know if that's playing for sure on yours, but that's a good video to watch. If anybody can't hear it, I think it's a good video to watch.
That's why the swing.
I definitely think 100% that people should watch it too, because, I mean, you look at the margin debt, he talks about the margin debt, you also look at the pace that we've been growing at, you also look at the most recent indicator. Remember how I told you the Buffett indicator? It basically looks at the global GDP, right?
Mm-hmm.
The indicator triggered a 142% increase, right? The last time it did that was in 2008. And even during Corona, it tapped 100, and then we saw that pullback, right? But that was coronavirus driven. That wasn't economically driven, right?
Right.
I think had coronavirus not happened, we would have been way past that already. Okay. But I 100% think, like, in all indications, like I said, all indications lead towards a drastic black swan event occurrence happening, and that's just a bunch of information to kind of sift through, you know, and try to figure out, and try to see, like, hey, what does this even mean, type of deal, and it's hard to decipher, like, what some of these things mean if you're not heavily, like, engaged in your research and trying to figure these things out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why, like I said, I'm always on my stuff, dude, like, all the time. Like, I'm never not watching what the market's doing because, or definitely never not watching news, especially. So, for me, I just think it's important, 100% important.
Yeah.
To have that, you know.
So real quick, it wouldn't surprise me if we hit this retracement zone. So this is the retracement zone for the intraday, so through pre-market tomorrow and after hours tomorrow. So we're kind of heading towards that direction. And AMC likes to bounce in between that 50 and 61.8% retracement. So it wouldn't surprise me if we bounce in this area or anywhere close to that area.
Yeah.
Let me go back. There we go. Yeah, I figured if you could hear it, then anyone watching should have been able to hear it, because the audio for the mixer is turned up all the way and it's not muted.
I was barely able to hear it, but maybe I won't hear it, and, you know, anyone watching the video will be able to hear it, but I wasn't able to. I was able to hear it for a little bit when you were unplugged, but I'm not 100% sure what the deal is. I think they still gotta work on your stream settings. They're not all the way there yet. Because for me, it's literally just click on a button and we're good.
Yeah.
You know, and
Or it could have been something where I had to disable mine and turn that on and then jump back in. You know what I mean? Because it probably can't be both unmuted simultaneously, if that makes sense.
yeah, no, that's makes sense.
Golly, dude, there's so much red.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you look at the indexes, they just continuously dropped. Like we're down $26 now after being only down 17 on the S&P. I think it was like 45 on the Nasdaq or 30 something on the Nasdaq. It was down almost $70. The Dow Jones was down like 180 to 225, I think, and now it's down 303 on the day, and we're approaching power hour. There's no way. There's no way this stuff does not all go together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're down on the day because the market's down, which is weird because we do have a negative data, like wrong data, according to the Bloomberg terminal, but here it says the market is 1.72, and that just may be on the day. I have no clue. So,
Yeah, I think if we, yeah, dude. So like if we retrace into this zone today, within the intraday, it's going to trigger SSR for tomorrow. To this zone for AMC. So if we retrace there before market close, it'll trigger SSR for tomorrow. Because I think according to Stonko Tracker, no, if we retrace to, because this is 50 to 61.8%. So this is the 50% price, 46.09, and then the 71.8% is the, or 61.8% is 44.50 basically. So an SSR according to Stonko Tracker to trigger that is 45.14. So it's in between those two. Right, that's what I'm saying. It would have to happen in the intraday hours. So like if it dips to that, yeah. We got, actually, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I need to eat. I haven't eaten all day, so I probably need to go grab some food. I mean, we can go ahead and wrap it up. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, we can do like an after hours chat if you want. Okay, yeah, that works. Guys, I appreciate you all joining us. We will be back this evening. And yeah, good luck in the markets. We'll see you guys on the next one.